Yo, it's your boy, Seafoam Soldier here in the club/flat. And with me today, I've got...
It's me, Floppy Bob, flopping to you live in HD. That's me right now. Yeah, there we go. Nailed it.
It's another classic intro. Let's do the thing people normally do on YouTube videos. Let's pretend we haven't just spoke for 5 minutes. How are you? How's everything with you? What's going on?
I love it. This is where I randomly bring in my dog and I'm like, oh, This is my dog. Some relevant content that we hadn't heard of before. Just going to be like, oh, I've been using this amazing makeup pen, This is obviously a real pen instead of a makeup pen, just in case, I don't want people calling me out in the comments. Yeah, I feel like I haven't got any, I should have some kind of sponsored product that I need to try and hawk.
I think you're selling us pure fish oil.
I mean, that's exactly what I've been doing. Yeah. Vegan fish oil. That's exactly what I'm serving right now.
Number one trend. Hey, people in chat. Good. Thanks for joining us. Appreciate it. Yeah. Okay. I feel like we're done with pleasantries now. Everyone feel happy. Feel like you know us, right? Good job.
Nailed it. Yeah.
Another intro nailed. Cool. So let's go on to the episode. So actually, a little bit backstory. So it's Father's Day here, and in most places, because Mother's Day is on a different day in America, right? But Father's Day is on the same day for us.
Yeah. I think everyone shares, or most people share Father's Day. In Korea, they just put it into a Parents' Day, which is kind of interesting.
That's better, I think.
There's also a Kids' Day as well, which is kind of great.
That'd be my favorite day.
Yeah, it meant that I got a day off school as a teacher, which was amazing.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's great.
Actually, pretty good. But yeah, because of that though, and I only literally just got home, that's why I was late with the stream, and then the cables went wrong. But anyway, it's all good now. But what my point is, I watched the episode before going to my family's place, so there's a high chance that I've forgotten 98% of what happened. But I've got 2.5 pages of notes and a little medal at the top of the first page, so that's a good sign, I think.
Yeah, I mean the medal especially just shows you already that you've got this one in the bag.
It's the level of commitment you don't even really get on this channel. Yeah, so let's dive right in. Let's start at the top. Okay, so Cameron is actually not bitter about staying for once. How do we feel about that?
Which was good to see. I was just like, I guess it must have been quite difficult before. And are you okay?
Yeah, it's burning. Don't worry, I was on camera. No one needs to know about that. Continue.
Sorry, just obviously I can see that, but you couldn't necessarily, which is just Grant kind of
going. I was trying to do that subtly. Damn it.
I mean, I guess it was subtle in the sense that nobody else saw it apart from me, but it was most definitely not subtle. But yeah, no, it's really good to see Cameron enjoying it and settling in a bit more to the idea of being in a top 4, because Cameron's worked really hard to be there.
Yeah, and well, Kurt's just said, this is the episode he finally likes Aquaria. For me, it's the episode I finally like Cameron. I've never disliked her, but I felt some sort of connection with her this episode for the first time all season, I'd say. She just talked, she still didn't talk loads, but she talked probably more than she has all season, and I liked it. I liked what she had to say.
Yeah. Good. I kind of found myself also liking Eureka a bit more this episode. So maybe it's just it's one of those, it's where you have a special moon in the sky and everyone feels a bit strange. I feel like that's kind of what's happening. Yeah. We're all kind of out of sorts. And then next week we'll be back to where we were before, being fuck everyone.
Conspiracy. Yeah, maybe it's Father's Day love. We're feeling
Father's Day love. I mean, I watched it the other day though. I watched it a couple of days ago. So
I knew Father's Day was coming up though. You felt the vibe.
Yeah, that's exactly what was happening. The fatherness was the paternity was radiating through the screen.
It always does, I find.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Always feeling my daddy fantasy, but no, I think as well. It's also just the nature of this kind of episode. The rounding up at the end. You realize how far they've come, and there's something quite nice about that. I think for all of the queens, you kind of get a sense of as much as I might not necessarily want certain ones to win, I also appreciate that they've done very well to get here.
Yeah. I agree. Inez is just saying that, and Kurt's agreeing, that Cameron's finally shows that she's top 4 material for the first time all season. And I'd agree. I don't know if she'd still be my choice as the 4th person there, but I can see why she's there now, somewhat at least.
Yeah.
Cause likes your haircut, Floppy Bob.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
What's also really, hopefully it's not that visible on camera, but like I was walking around Loads yesterday, and it was very, very sunny. And literally, when I got back to my kind of hostel room yesterday, I was like burnt here. So like, because basically basically everywhere apart from where my hair had been down at this length.
Oh, now it's exposed.
Right, and basically what had happened. Hopefully, it's not that visible now. But basically, it looked like I was constantly angry because I had this kind of chevron, like which made my eyebrow like it looked like I had these really angry, like red eyebrows, like here. So thankfully, it's not fully visible on this camera right now. But yeah, so that's the one less good thing about this haircut so far has been that like I think for like it's been quite sunny here for a while, and I just had like hair down to about here, which has been a real saving grace. Anyway, less about my hair. Thank you.
That's a real tea of the episode.
That's the gag of the season.
100% the gag of the season. That's it. The children are fully gagged in the chat, fully gagged.
Right.
Ines, you can calm down. He's saying, wish she had shown it a few weeks ago. She would have a chance of winning, probably. That's taking it too far. Take a seat. No, Bob, don't agree. That's ridiculous. Nowhere near on the same level as the others.
I think that's the thing. I mean, because before that point, Cameron had been kind of like floating around the middle and had produced like some good looks, had been kind of in the top a few times or towards the top, right? So like at that point, if Cameron had had like a real surge at that point, that would have been, okay, you know, you're in contention, probably won't win, but you know, you're at that point, people would have been like, oh damn, she's going to be top 4. Whereas I think the last few weeks it's kind of been like, okay, Cameron has survived through to top 4.
See, I don't know. Yeah, I agree more of the latter, because like the only reason I feel like Cameron's in top 4 is because Monet and Cracker severely underperformed.
Yeah,
she's sort of given a free pass in a way. I mean, pretty harsh. Again, like I said earlier, and I agree with you guys in the chat. Like, I see why she's in the top 4 now, but still, if Monet or Cracker had actually done what they could have done, she wouldn't be here. So that's fair, right? Like, it's harsh but fair. It's how I roll.
I think you're right. In the same way that actually midway through the season of season 9, we probably wouldn't have thought Peppermint would make it to the top 4.
Oh yeah, totally agree.
And you know, it was those last few weeks where Peppermint like had a few lip syncs that she you know, I was about to say survived, but she killed them pretty much. You know, so actually you would have kind of counted Peppermint out, and I guess again it was a few queens who you kind of thought near the end would really like kill it, and they didn't necessarily. Actually, no, I say that. I don't know who else I really would have expected in that top 4.
I was thinking about, I think season 9 was a weaker season generally.
Yeah, I think so.
There's a lot of strong contenders.
Right.
So I mean, different situation, I guess.
And Mayhem went out early. That's the thing. The queens who were on season 10 were, for the most part, incredibly strong. Like Monet, Mayhem, and Miss Cracker all going out before the top 4 is not something I necessarily would have seen before the start of the season. I had them as being in the top 4 personally.
Yeah, no, same. That's why the season's been good though. It's been a real roller coaster. Hey Carlos, thanks for joining us. Ines is saying Cameron be remembered for lip syncing, not so much for excelling in challenges. True. Although, this is really fun. I'm skipping forward in my notes, but I love it when they showed her like lip syncing 3 times. The clip they showed was her doing the exact same move.
Yeah, I loved that. It's like, and the splits. Yeah, it was just like, it was really well timed.
I bet they like slowed down some of the clips and it was like perfectly in time, because like literally all 3 clips were in sync.
It was great. Yeah. But I mean, something that I do wonder about Cameron with that is because now that we've got this top 4 lip sync off kind of scenario, right? This kind of format, and it's kind of interesting because like someone who's lip synced 3 times in a row, right at the end of the season, it's interesting to see whether she'll then win the first lip sync in the finale and basically be in the final 2.
Well, that's what Kurt's guessing. But I don't think she's a bad lip syncer at all. But I don't think she's a lip sync assassin, as Eureka said at the beginning of the episode.
Right. Right.
Strong, but I think the others are stronger. Like again, we haven't really seen Aquaria lip sync, but the little we've seen, she's been really good.
And I think, sorry.
No, just saying with the other 2. Like we've seen way more of Cameron, so we know she's good. Whereas the others we've seen less of. And what we've seen has been good as well. So I think we're just more used to seeing Cameron. I think it's more that as opposed to she's a lot better than the others.
And I think it will be harder as a result for her to wow the audience in quite the same way. Because if you think of, I mean, Trinity had lip synced only once or twice by the time she got to the finale.
I can't remember now.
I think only once before maybe. Shay had lip synced once. Peppermint Head lip sync like 3 times.
But I don't think it's about lip syncing now. It's going to be about gimmicks. Let's be real.
Yeah. And I mean, that's what I think is. So, for example, like Cameron would have to work that bit harder to really wow, because doing those splits in a finale, if she hadn't already done it 3 times before, would be a bit more like, oh wow, okay, cool. Kind of the Jasmine Masters, like, okay, work, kind of, but like
it's not that good. Like, it's like every drag queen does. Like, I do splits every day I leave the house just for attention.
Right. I mean, yeah, I'm doing splits right now. I mean, but this is actually a really low down table.
Yeah, same here. Like with the bottom of my legs, the top half of my legs are like casual, but the bottom half fully split. It's intense.
What I love about that is I can literally see one of your knees. That's definitely not in split.
Don't worry about that. That's not a thing.
You're actually like quadruple jointed, and like the bottom part of your leg is just like
anyway. Extra joints at the bottom of my legs, so like fully apart. Don't even worry about it.
But yeah, I think that's what's going to be quite interesting, is because I think I know that there are spoilers out there, and I've been avoiding them.
Yeah,
I only want
no spoilers, guys.
I only know one tiny bit of one spoiler, and that's not enough to know anything more. But I wouldn't be surprised if, for example, someone like Asia and someone like Aquaria can absolutely kill it in the lip sync, because although we've seen Asia lip sync twice.
Oh, someone said, oh no, that's season 9. Sorry, I don't know. I can't remember. Sorry.
But yeah, although we've seen Asia lip sync twice, I feel like her and Aquaria could come up with some of the more interesting bits in the finale, just because I think because I think Asia is just so experienced that you just always know she's going to have something, and Aquaria we haven't seen lip sync apart from the Call Me Mother lip sync at the end of this
that's
episode.
the thing. Like, I think Aquaria is the most creative and intelligent in a lot of ways. Obviously, she's quite dense in some ways, but again, because the lip syncs were like heavily on gimmicks, I think Aquaria is going to bring some really. She had like blue tears, like she stained her eyes, like. She has got some serious tricks up her sleeve. That's just like a casual runway. Like, imagine what she's going to do for the finale. I think she's going to have a massive advantage over the other queens just purely for her level of creativity.
Yeah. I hope so.
What do you guys think? So I think that was an interesting point you made, Bob, though, in terms of we've seen more, maybe the queens who we've seen more from in terms of lip syncing have a weaker chance in the actual finale. Do you guys agree with that? Let us know in the chat. But yeah, should we get back to
sure.
Actual episode?
Yeah.
Okay, so the second thing I wrote down is Asia regrets coming in so hard on Cracker, but then stands by what she says. So
yeah, I did think that was a little bit like,
herself a hole, isn't she? She's like, I shouldn't have said that, but I do totally stand by it. Like,
but in some ways, I kind of respect it. Not in the sense that she's kind of doubling down on it, but that she doesn't kind of give this like fake, like, oh, I was so mean and whatever. Like she did mean it.
Yeah, true.
And she stands by that. And I kind of respect that in some ways. I mean, obviously, I'd rather she didn't say it, because not only do I not agree, but also I do think it is incredibly harsh. But yeah, I think that's something that I do really appreciate about Asia. She's really straight down the line. It's kind of, I think this should have been a bit nicer about it. Still what I said, and not in that kind of, I'm such a bitch, I'm going to like own it, but in a kind of, that's what I thought. Like,
yeah, no, I totally agree with that. But again, I think it's what she said, right? It's like certain stuff you should and shouldn't say. Like, you can say your opinion, but you don't have to phrase it in that certain way, I suppose.
Yeah.
Like, because the thing is, you're thinking of it as like Cracker watching it. Like, she said, if I was Cracker watching, like, I heard her say she felt really bad about saying that, I'll be like, okay, cool, like, I appreciate that. But then if I then heard afterwards, but I really don't think she's a star, like, I would be crushed again. It's like a roller coaster. She's taking Cracker and putting it on a roller coaster.
Right. Yeah, it was a bit, in that sense. But I mean, it's an interesting one. I mean, we've already seen from the little preview of the reunion that it is going to be mentioned, and I mean, I would have expected it to be mentioned anyway, because it's kind of unfinished business. So it'll be interesting to see how that comes out. I think it probably will just end with a hug and maybe a few tears. But
well, yeah, that's the thing. It's been sorry, God, sorry, I got a call. It's confusing me. What was I going to say? It's been a year. Cracker's pretty chill generally.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming it'll be fine, to be honest. And like I do agree with you. I think I respect people much more for speaking their mind as opposed to being fake and all that sort of stuff. But
yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I've got sort of mixed opinions. I was just thinking purely from Cracker's perspective. It's kind of
it's like kicking someone who's already a bit down, really. Anyway, so
Yeah. Sorry. Cheers for joining us, Carlos. Yeah. Watch the rest of the episode when you can, and leave your thoughts in the chat. Leave your C.U.N.T in the chat beneath. Okay. So the next one I wrote down. Okay. So, but again, so it's interesting, this like thing with Asia, because she understands that she spoke too harshly, I guess, like a few minutes beforehand, but then she doesn't mince her words with complimenting Eureka. Because remember, Eureka's like really fishing for that compliment, and then Asia's like, "Nah, like you look horrific," pretty much, right?
I know. I have to admit, I absolutely love that. Not just because like I'm not Eureka's #1 fan, but also just like for the most part, just the fact that like it was so like Eureka was so brazen in being like, please, like, do this, or like, and earlier, later in the episode with Eureka doing the whole thing with Cameron of, oh, like, please sing for me, and I love that like both Asia and Cameron were like, no, like you're gonna stay in your corner and do your shit, but I'm not giving you what you want. It's great.
No, I agree with it in terms of like, because Eureka was annoying when she's like fishing for that compliment, but then obviously like just be nice. Like she did look alright, like she didn't look bad. Just be like, yeah, good makeup, girl. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then the second one, wait, what was the second thing? I've literally just forgotten it.
The Cameron and the singing.
Yes, that was it.
Yeah.
But then, like I see both sides of that, because Eureka has pushed Cameron a lot throughout the season, and Cameron is really responded to it. Like we would have heard literally nothing from Cameron if Eureka hadn't have sort of pushed her a little bit. So I sort of see where she's coming from with that. Like again, I found it annoying personally, but like it would have been cool like if she actually done it. If Cameron actually sung her verse in the workroom, like that would have made me respect her so much, because it is out of her comfort zone. So I sort of see where Eureka was coming from with it. Like it would have been really good for her in terms of fan reception and the reception among the queens and stuff. And like it has worked previously, and you know what I mean. So I sort of see where she's coming from with it, but I found it annoying. I agree.
Yeah, I sometimes feel like Eureka is like, without necessarily meaning to be, it's kind of like I say this, I am the younger sibling, but like she's almost like that younger sibling. He's like, come on, like please, come on, like, and like. Although it's kind of cute, and I see what you mean, like definitely I think she's trying to push Cameron outside of the comfort zone. I think at that point it was kind of unnecessary, in the sense that like, well, we've got to do our next thing now. I mean, it's fun, like don't get me wrong, but like, her part's sung, she doesn't need to do anything more about it. Like, it's kind of, I guess it was just an interesting bit of curiosity, but it's cute. Their friendship throughout has been quite an interesting part of the season.
That's what I was going to say. It's funny saying, because I was wondering as well if it's like a flirting thing for Eureka.
Yeah.
So it's more of like a negging, like teasing sort of thing for her.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. I think that's probably exactly it, actually. It did feel a bit like the kind of flirty thing. And I mean, and in some ways, probably Eureka can get away with that more than Aquaria or Asia could with Cameron, just because of that kind of their closeness.
Yeah. It's just what it says. Like Eureka is a Cameron whisperer, so like fair. Like, she can do what she wants, So again, so interject if I'm missing anything out you want to chat about. But the next thing I wrote down, I don't know if anyone noticed this, but when they walked into the workroom for the next day for the last time, they all had like little catchphrases when they walked in.
Yeah.
They had like Aquaria, and I can't remember who was second. Eureka probably, no, Asia, and then Eureka, like you see her like open her mouth like to say her, so the camera just like cuts, and like goes to like the next scene.
Yeah,
that's proper funny.
It's weird. I like when Aquaria first did the bonjour thing, I was like, okay, that's kind of cheesy, but I love it. And now I kind of like, I really dig it. Like I've listened to their version of American a few more times, and it just feels so weirdly Aquaria, like that whole kind of like just entering a room with this like loud and slightly bizarre bonjour. It's kind of cute. I like it.
Yeah, I agree.
Sorry.
No, go on.
I mean, like as I've said with a few of these live streams, like I've really come to love Aquaria throughout this season, and I think like it's like dorky things like that where like it's kind of, I think, whereas early on, before I kind of got to see her a bit more, I kind of would have probably felt that was a bit kind of snobbish and a bit kind of like pay attention to me, but it's actually just Aquaria being quite dorky. Like here's my little catchphrase, and I kind of love that.
Yeah, she was like really misunderstood in the beginning of the season, and I think I sort of like I really liked her quite early on.
Yeah,
it's really cool that like she's really like people like as you see more of her, people have understood her personality more.
Yeah,
because she's like, again, like half my notes from this episode are like about how much of a sweetheart she is.
Yeah,
she's the cutest. She's
And
so
it's
sweet.
actually it's kind of similar to what I had with Pearl actually, which is I think when I first watched season 7, I just thought she was a bit kind of uppity, and actually as you kind of get to see her a bit more, you're like, oh no, wait, like this is not only like part of a persona, but also like I think I'd misunderstood Pearl, and I
Yeah,
kind of get that with Aquaria. Not necessarily saying that those two are very similar, but there's I think there's something that on first like the first time you see them can rub people up the wrong way, but then actually once you spend time with them, like, oh no, actually it's just like a little quirk of theirs. They're actually really nice.
yeah, exactly. I agree with Kurt totally. Aquaria is what Valentina tried to be.
Yeah,
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 100% right.
spot on.
Cool. Okay. Oh yeah. And so then Rue does a little. She done already done had hers is, and he talks about how they're going to form a super group. And then I want to talk about what is the definition of a super group, because I really feel like they're not a super group at all.
No, they're just a group. Because I mean, like, not to say they're not super, but like the idea of a super group is you take like people from other
Legends.
big groups, right?
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
you like all stars would be super groups in the sense a bit more that you've got like people who are known in their own senses coming together. But like, yeah, it does seem a bit like super group. Be like, you're a top 4. Like,
Yeah.
that's the
Exactly.
best way. Not to get like pedantic about this, but it's like you're a top 4. You know,
Well,
that's
yeah. Exactly. That's what I mean. Like, take a seat. Okay. Okay, so yeah, and then again, like it was sweet. So when they found about the challenge, I know I mean like saying Aquaria was still like was really excited about the challenge. She wasn't daunted at all, which I think was awesome. Like she was just genuinely like having the time of her little life.
Yeah, and I think it's especially quite nice because, although Aquaria has had a really good run up until now, like the last couple of weeks, well, I mean, obviously she won last week, but no, did she win last week? Yeah. But before that, she'd been kind of skating towards the bottom 3 or kind of towards safe for a couple of weeks. Like she had a little bit of a dip.
Yeah,
And it's been really nice to see Aquaria pick it back up because I think when that dip happened, I was really, really worried that was kind of like the narrative arc being like, look how Eureka gets it at this last moment kind of thing. But it's actually been really nice to see that kind of little bit of a fight back from Aquaria and like absolutely killed it in this challenge. Like
yeah.
I did not expect her to move like that. Although that said, I have seen a video of her performing before, and like it was before I saw the season, and I had no real concept of who Aquaria was. And it was only recently I put it back together and realized that was the same person.
Okay.
And yeah, like, but she can really dance.
Yeah, she's got hidden depths. That's what I was saying earlier, though, right? Like we've not really had a chance to see that. So it's not that Cameron is better necessarily. It's that we haven't really had a chance to see what the others have to offer yet.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's going to be really good as a top 4 lip sync finale thing. It's going to be really good, I think.
Yeah, oh for sure. I agree, guys, in the chat. I think definitely hunt down Sutakin. Like he was like fully loyal. I don't know what's happened to him. We miss you. Someone find him and force him to come back, please. So one other big theme of the episode is Eureka's confidence issues. But I've written a note saying, "Do we care?"
I mean, as much as sometimes I am a bit like, oh, are we having this conversation again? I also do think it must be quite a strange thing for Eureka to have come back. And I think kind of going for both her and Aquaria coming into this season, there was a lot more expectation on their shoulders than perhaps Asia's or Cameron's. So I guess that must factor into some of what they do.
Oh, see, I don't know. I feel like more at the beginning of what you said. Like I feel like we've had this conversation 500 times now, and I feel like it wasn't like it's not a really legitimate conversation in the first place for me. Like these seasons are so different, and I feel like there's a slight advantage. Maybe like 2 episodes, fine. Talk about the first 2 episodes. I'm here for that. But like by the end, like is like being in the previous season doesn't matter.
Right.
I know you were saying about like. I suppose, like, she's saying how it affected her headspace, not being able to perform for a while and stuff. But, like, again, I don't really understand why you have confidence issues because you did well in season 9. Like, you well received. I suppose, like, not everyone liked you online, but you did well in terms of the competition, and you obviously had fans from season 9. So, like, what's up, girl?
Yeah,
I don't know. Like, I don't really get it.
Yeah, and I mean, the thing I find is like it's obviously not going to be solved overnight, the confidence issues, especially because of how back to back many of these episodes are in terms of filming.
That's a good point. But
the thing I do find is kind of like, yeah, like I feel like sometimes we had the conversation like 3 episodes ago, and like she was like, yeah, I'm back in, I'm fighting, and then like 3 episodes later she's like, I'm having this thing, and we're like, okay. I mean, like, not to say it's definitely going to be solved by this point, but just that you're like, okay, we're having this again. And sometimes I do feel like it's a little bit like, okay, you're in a reality TV show. What are you going to talk about? Like, here's your niche of like the reality TV thing you have to talk about.
Yeah, that's my mindset with it as well.
Yeah,
it seems a bit like manufactured is the wrong word. Like hyped is the wrong word as well, but like, exaggerated, I suppose.
Yeah.
Like it's purposefully exaggerated for some sort of narrative that I'm not buying. Cos is saying no, but I'm not sure what to elaborate. Okay. I've written down, my next note is Aquaria is very sweet and charming. Oh, in the podcast.
Oh yeah, I really loved her on that, because it's so funny. And actually something, one thing that was kind of funny about the Untucked, I'm jumping a bit ahead with this, it's kind of quite funny to see like Aquaria on the show being really, really sweet, and then especially on the podcast, and then like the final moment of her Untucked is still like, I'm gonna win that crown, and you're like, it's so funny, like this kind of weird, because actually that's exactly how she was. If you think about the first couple of episodes, she was so like, well, I don't even,
because like, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt your Aquaria impression. But I think she's both. Again, I haven't. Sorry, I don't know if I mentioned earlier, but I haven't seen Untucked, didn't get time to today. But I checked with Bob, and apparently nothing that exciting happened. So I'll watch it later. Yeah. And if anything amazing happens, I want to talk about, I'll leave a comment. So there's something to come back for.
There are some really sweet moments in it, I think. But yeah, I think you're right. Aquaria can definitely be both of those things, and I think that's part of what I find quite appealing about her. Is there's like, although she's this incredibly cute like dork who's kind of like, way, like, you also remember that she's incredibly like motivated and has like a rod of steel in her back. Like, she is hungry for this, and that's sometimes quite nice to remember. But yeah, no, in that podcast she was incredibly sweet, and I think it's also really nice to see her, like, how she's becoming a bit better at those off the cuff kind of funny moments. Because I mean, that's the thing, like 21. I mean, I'm not necessarily good with coming up with like witty off the cuff remarks now at 29.
I mean, have you guys seen our streams?
But like, yeah, like at 21, I don't think I would have been able to kind of be as quick.
Oh, she's so sharp.
Yeah. So yeah.
But I think I sort of see like a bit of myself. I was just thinking in like when you're describing her personality, I think that's like how I feel quite a lot of the time. Like, so I think like I'm not, as you guys know, like I'm not particularly like eloquent, or like I'm pretty stupid with some stuff. Like, I don't know, but then like if I'm talking about something I'm really passionate about, like the game I'm working on, for example, like I'm like a different person, I've sort of seen Aquaria where she's like a bit of a dork, like happy-go-lucky, a bit awkward. I feel like I'm a bit like that a lot of the time. But then, like when it's something she's serious about, like drag, which is her main passion, like her main like life, whatever, like it's just like she can be confident with you can be both things at once. You don't have to be like a dork in all areas or really confident and arrogant in all areas. I think it's healthy to have a mix of all that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
people are multifaceted,
definitely, right, exactly. How did you think everybody else was for their podcast bits?
Okay, I was trying to do it from memory. Okay. I just remember the note I wrote down. I know it's something we all know already, but Ru literally can't get enough talking about a dead parent, can he? Like,
oh my god!
Like,
yeah.
Ru, like you never guess. I had this amazing cheesecake earlier. I can't wait to tell you about it. He'd be like, yeah, but your dad died. Like, how does that make you feel?
And it really reminds me of how sometimes you've got to go through those moments. Like, your parents, are they still with us? And you're like, come on now, right?
Exactly. I'd be shitting myself. If you asked me that, I'd be like, yeah, they are. Like, I'd be like terrified.
I think like they were alive when I like left to film this. Are you
exactly
okay? Like,
exactly.
Yeah, I think Ru knows how to kind of play the kind of reality TV thing. And it's always kind of funny. Like I feel like from now on I should, season 11 or the next All Stars or whatever, I feel like I should have some kind of drinking game set up of like Ru asking about a dead parent, because that just happens every fucking episode. It feels like.
I think poor people, like let them like deal with it in their own way. I don't know, like it's just a bit much. It's extremely personal to talk about.
Yeah, especially on live, on not live TV, but on national TV as well. I think something Bendela Creme joked about once. I think at some kind of event where Rue was there, and I remember Rue kind of had this gave this slight look of kind of like, don't talk too much about this now, because Bendela was saying how difficult it is with, I think it was maybe in the lead up to All Stars 3, about how difficult it is sometimes, because you're kind of getting ready and like the producers are kind of like, doing this, and then suddenly someone's like, tell everybody about your dying parents. It's just, but meanwhile you're kind of like putting on makeup and like trying to like sew 14 different garments, a challenge.
It's great for us as viewers though, to be fair.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's kind of part of the show. I mean, this is also, I think that's interesting. I know there have been a few, this is kind of going a little bit off topic, but it will come back, I promise, which people have been speaking about the idea of RuPaul's Drag Race UK. And one thing that I feel like would be quite different perhaps is that I don't know how much that reality format necessarily fits within a UK model, because parts of it do. Obviously, like a lot of things like X Factor and whatever still have those kind of same motifs running through them. But I also feel like that a lot of that kind of the like fight your inner saboteur stuff doesn't necessarily cross over quite as much in the UK.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree with that. I think you're probably right, but I think at the same time, I think drag culture generally has been heavily influenced by Drag Race.
Yeah,
and I don't know. I would assume their sort of behaviors in the way they communicate and their level of openness with certain things is probably affected as a result of that.
Yeah.
So I know, and again, like they'd expect it, I guess, doing a UK version of the show. But I agree. I see what you're saying completely. But one thing I was thinking as well is I do listen to all of What's the Tea podcasts. And like I think Rue does talk about his parents a lot on the podcast. I know he has therapy. I think that's something he talks a lot about in therapy as well. He did have like tumultuous relationships with his parents in different ways, I suppose, especially his dad. And I guess like to me, it feels like he's like still working through that himself, and it might be something he'd always work through. And I feel like that's why he always talks about it, because like he wants to connect. It's something he can connect to people over, because it's something he's struggling with. I think
that's a really interesting point, actually. Yeah,
I think it's not like, again, like a cry for help. A cry for help is like way too extreme. That's not what I mean. But like, it's like he wants to talk about it because it's something that's on his mind. Something he's not totally comfortable with. So I think it's more about him as opposed to about the other people.
Yeah, I agree. I think that sounds actually quite logical, I think, given everything with the show. Yeah, I'd buy that. But yeah, no, it's interesting, especially with the little mini podcast bits, because it's kind of quite cute in this episode. Cameron is quite sweet in the podcast, I thought, as well.
I agree.
Which is good, because like I feel like if there's a situation where Cameron doesn't have to speak, Cameron won't often, at least in the show. Apparently outside of Drag Race, Cameron's quite talkative, and you can't shut him up. But it's really fun when you're kind of like, here's a microphone, talk. Cameron is actually really sweet, and I would listen to Cameron for quite a while.
Yeah, that's pretty much exactly what I wrote down. Like when we actually hear her speak, like it's interesting to me. Like I'm happy to sit and listen to her speak. I just wish she would actually do that more.
And I think sometimes it's quite nice having someone who will just sit, who kind of sits, takes their time, processes things, thinks, and then kind of talks only when it's necessary. That's quite nice sometimes. But
again, that doesn't seem true to me in terms of like what I've seen from her post show. I don't think she is like that. I think she's very like frantic, mind moving million miles an hour. Like can't really shut her up. And again, like Rue said it, like off camera, we heard you're completely different. So to me, I don't think it is that she's like very thoughtful or especially like introverted or whatever it is. I think she's just highly editing herself for the show, but I don't think it's necessarily on purpose. I think it probably is down to confidence issues, but I don't think that's really her natural state of being,
Right. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what happens post Drag Race with Cameron, because we might see a lot more interviews and what have you. So
I'm interested to see her on a reunion, because it was obviously filmed recently, and the finale. I guess I think she'll be very different to how she was on the show. So I'd be interested to see that.
Also, maybe like she won't even be able to get a word in edgeways, because you've got like 13 other like queens.
Sorry, what do you mean? He's saying about what we were saying. I think what you're saying about Bendela Creme. He's saying that's like Layla on the DragCon panel joking about the producers making her ask Chi Chi about why she brought a gun to school. I don't know about that, so tell us about that. Spill the tea on that.
That is interesting.
Yeah, because again,
Oh yeah, sorry. I know a lot of queens have joked before about, especially Trixie, about, as soon as you start talking about the behind the scenes part of the show, there's like a target on your head, from Rue kind of being like, oh, don't use the better line, like,
Yeah.
So I do wonder, because there's a lot that must go unshown and unsaid. So yeah, there must be quite a bit that's missing, I guess, with that.
Yeah, no, I agree. Okay, so who else? Any other notes from the podcast, but the episode?
Eureka's was quite. I mean, all of them are quite sweet in it.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think like generally the last couple of weeks I've really warmed a lot more to Aquarian and Asia, and for me now, like those are the two who I'd happily see win.
Okay, that's interesting.
And especially like this episode was a really cute one, I think, from Asia and Aquaria personally. But then again, I guess I'd already fallen a bit in love with them before, so I'm
okay, that's fair. Sorry, I just because I wrote my notes earlier. I think this is pretty funny. So about the Rue talking about dead parent thing, I wrote down Rue loves talking about a dead parent. Chill and have a Kit Kat, babes. Sort of how I feel. Topical,
Right.
So about the actual singing, like the rehearse, like the recording the tracks bit. My main note from that is I found it very offensive when they like made Eureka make the elephant noise at the end of her verse.
I loved it. Just this like them trying to make her do it. Like, come on, this would be a fun little extra. And then I was like, come on, this has to be in the real thing. And then it wasn't. I was like,
No, yeah, I agree.
But I guess maybe because like the elephant noise wasn't particularly convincing from what we saw.
To be fair, like they were shit as well. Like, what would they do? No one can make an elephant.
They were like, oh, just kind of go a bit, and she was like, and they're like, no, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah,
I mean, that's kind of exactly what you just wanted to do.
Exactly. Yeah, genuinely.
But like, yeah, I mean, I feel like they could have just like dubbed in like random elephant like noise from the internet. Like, I feel like that would have been cool.
Oh, I agree. Yeah. It's like to see a lip sync. It would have been that's like the reason you do it is to see her like lip sync the action or whatever.
Because I actually think that's quite a fun idea for like Eureka's verse to kind of add a little bit of extra humor into. I mean, hers was already quite funny in some ways, but I think it would have been a nice little touch. But I did love the two little.
Like quite sadistic about like making like a big girl like making elephant noise.
It was a bit weird, just like especially with the two German guys behind the decks, like Todrick, and then Eureka all going like, "Come on, Eureka!"
I think I would have just cried if I was Eureka. Probably.
I would have.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, my favorite thing. So relating to dead parents, unintentional link, but the two guys doing the editing behind the decks.
Both dead.
I sound so, Kummerspeck. Yeah, it literally means grief bacon in German, which is their word for saying comfort eating.
Oh, interesting. Okay, it's
all grief bacon.
It's all subliminal messaging. Interesting.
Yeah, there we go. Right, dead parents. Comfort eating.
It's really hard to promote that on the show.
Yeah, there you go.
Ines is saying about Layla. She was saying not to take what you see on this show so seriously. It's very scripted, especially when they're getting ready, and was taking the piss about how quickly subjects change. So it's cool. It's interesting. Yeah, again, something we had quite a lot from the queens off the show. It's interesting to hear Layla say, especially she's only there for such a short period of time.
Yeah. But I do love that when you're when they're in the workroom, especially when they're doing something, you just see someone kind of turn and go, so has anyone else had a dead parent? And you're like, come on, like someone has told you to have this conversation.
But it's almost like really specific. Like, so like, have you like Latrice, have you done any time in prison? How would you, where would you have gotten that from unless someone told you literally to ask that?
I love it. Like, especially I think in earlier seasons it was all a bit rougher and readier, and people just being like, so who do you think is going to win? And that's like something you could imagine someone kind of getting into. But I love like with later seasons, sometimes that mask has just been completely like taken off, and it's just like, yeah, literally like, so Kimchi, how was it like moving to South Korea? And what's that? Does your mother know? Like, there's so many like setups. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it does take away from the show feeling organic, but at the same time, it is so like kitschy and like silly, and I love it. Yeah, particularly when the person doing it is not a very good actor. Like I seem to remember Derek Berry a few times just like having me in hysterics just because of how like kind of. So tell me about this controversial topic. It just always felt like that with Derek.
Derek's such a wreck. I just reminded me. Do you see? I'm watching the latest one. What's it on? I think maybe Build or something. But like, there's a panel of drag queens, and it was done for like towards the end, the finale of last season as well.
Oh yeah, I've seen this with the whole Stonewall thing.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, so cringy.
Nobody died.
Just because you guys haven't seen it. So
what was
like,
really great?
Derek's trying to educate the children about Stonewall, and he's like, "People don't know. People died in Stonewall." And then William's like, "No, I didn't." And Derek's like, "What?"
He died. That nobody died meme, like, it was like made into a meme and used so much after the whole Robbie Turner thing.
Oh
like,
shit!
Really? Robbie Turner thing. Like just so many versions of like Derek Perry going, "Nobody died."
Yeah, God,
so bad, so good.
Yeah, I love Derek. Derek is a wreck.
There's an amazing video of Derek Berry at one, I think, a haters roast, but like is completely like drunk,
wasted.
like,
I've seen it.
So wasted that you're like,
yeah.
Yes, Thor from season 8 to RuPaul's Drag Race. And you're like, what? Just like stop. Can someone take...
it's horrific. Like, but also, to be fair, probably still funnier than she would be sober.
Oh my God, absolutely. Like Derek Barry sober would not have been anywhere near as good. Like I kind of expected like kind of a Bugs Bunny thing with like, you know, that hook that like drags people off stage.
Yes.
I was really expecting that at some point with Derek, but it never came. And instead it was like, I think most of the videos of it are just like 14 minutes of Derek Barry roasting herself. It's like,
I think she's good sport with it though, which is the main thing.
Yeah.
Ines has got the exact quote from Layla. It's pretty good. Hey Layla, hey Layla, I know you're. Someone's hey Chi-Chi. Hey Chi-Chi, I know you're really busy trying to get your eyeliner on right now. And sorry, that was it. So sorry, Layla was saying, hey Layla, I know you're really busy trying to get your eyeliner on right now, but can you go and ask Chi-Chi why she brought a gun to school? That's the quote. Yeah.
How do you subtly bring that up? So it's like, you know, from The Simpsons with that whole thing where Homer is like he's being paid off by the FBI so that he doesn't get in trouble for submitting his taxes.
Oh yeah.
And he does the whole like, so anyone do anything illegal recently? And that's exactly like how it feels in the workroom, and I love it.
Yeah, 100% fully here for it. So okay, about the actual singing, like recording the tracks. Any notes from that?
I love just in terms of shady editing, the fact that they've just got that moment of like Aquaria kind of being like, and not quite finding the note. And then like her leaving and being like, yeah, I think I did really well. And then it going straight to Todrick being like, we've got a lot of work to do.
Yeah, exactly. That was really funny.
Like, you know, she's going to be fine. When you see something like that, you're like, oh, she's going to be all right. But I do love the kind of the shadiness of the editing of like, let's make it look like she's deluded.
Yeah. I don't think she's deluded. When she said when she got back, like or when she left, like absolutely killed it. Like the Todrick loved it, sort of thing. Like I know she's not that dense. Like she obviously did do better than the editing made it seem like she did. But it did frustrate me that none of the queens seem to know what an octave is.
No, it was a bit depressing. Just like okay, go an octave higher. Like it's the same note. That's
Yeah.
But at least, I mean, there was no like Roxy Andrew verse. There was no like, can I get an amen moment. So like, I feel like it was largely quite safe.
Oh, sorry. Ines just made a really good point. That's really interesting. And that's true. I'm assuming it is. You've got receipts apparently. He noticed that when they were, he noticed that none of the equipment was actually plugged in when they were recording their verses.
Oh,
I did notice they're recording on the main stage, which seemed really weird.
Yeah. I was like, what's going on with the recording on the main stage? I thought that was like ridiculous because I thought, okay, it's going to make sense if they need them to be like moving around a lot or they need to do.
He's right. Can you see? There's no wires in there.
Oh, yeah, shit.
Like 0 wires going in there.
That is a really good point.
Yeah, mental.
Well spotted.
Nice one. Yeah.
Some Nancy Drew going on right there.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, like I did think it was really strange doing it on the main stage because the acoustics must be pretty awful. Like for you know, you're recording this whole track and you're just gonna have like, I mean, I thought okay, it would make sense if they're going to incorporate the dance routine directly in, but they've done everything else in the recording studio before. So like,
they must have done it again somewhere else, maybe.
Yeah.
Or I don't know. It'd be interesting. I wish Cracker was in this episode just so we could get the review of the June too.
Yeah, there's a lot that didn't really make sense about that. But
I was really caught off guard by how good a singer Cameron is.
Yeah, Cameron's all right. And then we found out that whole thing later with Cameron saying about like you know, when they had to do talking to their pictures, or the pictures of themselves when they were younger, like Cameron did that whole thing about the karaoke machine and like hiding in the other room.
I
was like, oh, okay, Cameron, like secret little thing here. We can
Yeah.
be expecting a single from you in about a month.
Yeah,
A few weeks ago.
I'm surprised they're out already. To be fair, I know I can't imagine. Unless I can't imagine a Cameron on the show like doing a music video and releasing a single and stuff. But I can imagine Cameron post show, like the version of Travis doing that 100%. Yeah. But yeah, any other notes from like the rehearsals?
I mean, it's all kind of standard stuff, isn't it? Like lots of like, oh, will they, won't they be able to do it? And then it's all fine. So like,
standard. We're used to it by now. We know what's going to happen.
Yeah, I think who was it who was really off rhythm at one point? Oh, it wasn't it like Asia at the beginning where they're like, oh yeah, we can't have you off rhythm.
Yeah.
But I really liked Asia's. I thought like this isn't me just hating Eureka. I did think Eureka's was a little bit cliched, but like, I mean, all of it's a bit cliched anyway. Like for all of them, because you know it's like top 4. You're on a RuPaul's. You're on like a RuPaul song. You're not gonna have tons of like crazy out there lyrics. But I did think that like Eureka's did verge a little bit more on the cliched side at times. Although that first line, like Eureka, you found it or whatever it was really good.
I need to listen to it again because I don't remember the exact like content of their verses, but I remember them all being good.
Yeah,
I just got a dessert. I just really fancied it.
I just love that. Just like casual, like I'm gonna get a dessert. Like I'm in my own house. Why not?
Exactly. You guys aren't the boss of me. You're lucky to even be here. Remember,
it's going to turn into like, well, not quite an ASMR thing, but I'm just kind of expecting you like later just to do like, there'd just be like 5 minutes of just like seductive spoon licking, followed by a discussion of like, I don't know, your inner saboteur.
It's gonna like really like start rubbing my eye. Whoa. Give the children what they're looking for, you know.
This is art right here. This is like, you know,
it's installation piece.
This is some Sasha Velour shit right here.
Oh, that's my main point. That's a really good point. I think I noticed in the actual when I actually did the thing properly. I think it was Eureka. I must have written on the next page. I think it was Eureka. No, I can't be able to find it. But her rapping was giving me it was Asia. It was Aquaria. Where? Yeah, it was definitely Aquarius. Sorry, I just want to double check. Her rap was giving me 100% Sasha Velour realness.
Oh yeah,
Clat realness.
Oh yeah, from Clat. Yeah.
Right.
Which is, I mean, her bit is the best part of that. Just I know actually, Aja's is really good in Clat as well. But yeah.
No, like it's not a compliment.
Oh, okay. I actually really like Sasha's bit in Clat.
Oh no, Bob, no.
I know, but like Alexis Michelle is there to kind of like balance it out by like just being awful. And actually, like Eureka was kind of giving me the Alexis Michelle part, not like her being fully awful, but like just like how many cliches can you stack like one after another?
I feel like we should talk about Clat. I feel like it doesn't deserve airtime.
What? I mean,
it's not good. Like it's not known. It's not like
the video is talking about seeing Aquaria perform was the Clat.
Oh,
and
no.
she did a really good job of it. She had like a little house like hidden on her head under a wig to be Sasha.
Oh, that's cool.
Came to Sasha's part, which is really cool. Yeah.
Oh, cool. I have to check that out, and it does seem worth watching the song for
and
again.
Then there was this whole thing where like people replaced like Clat verses with like other things. So you know, either replacing like Alexis Michelle with Tatiana's like same parts, or replace like, or every time someone said New York, it cut to.
I've seen all that. Yeah.
Stranger doing like the come on season 6, let's get sickening. So yeah, like I've watched way too many of these. Like,
yeah, I've seen a few of them as well. Yeah, it says sort of turned to mukbang. I don't know how to say it.
Actually, the Korean thing. Yeah.
What is it? How do you say it?
Mukbang. Yeah.
Mukbang. Cool. Yeah, if you guys, some people didn't know what they were. Guys, check out Trisha Paytas's one. She does like a million of them, and they're like 2-3 hours long. I've never watched a full one before because they're not interesting. But I don't know, it is like a bit of a weird phenomenon. So you guys, you get like 3 extra bonus. You're like doubling up my stream. So it's a mukbang, it's Drag Race, it's hanging out. You guys getting a full fantasy.
What dessert have you got there, Grant? Do you want to tell?
Oh my god, I really wanted to support you yesterday. Salted caramel professor rolls, very good. It's really good. Sorry guys,
it's really fucking good.
Yeah. Sorry. Anyway, back to the episode. Yeah. Okay. So then we go on to rehearsals.
Yeah. Okay. So this is like. I always feel at first when I mean, obviously they get longer to rehearse than we see them to, but I always feel like Todrick's really quite mean to them. Like Todrick's always like, "You're shit. This is a really hard dance routine. Like, how have you not got this already when I've shown you literally once?"
I know.
Yeah, literally, like Todrick would be like, boom, 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 boom. Okay, here are 8 moves, and then be like, what do you mean you can't remember all of those? I just showed you, and you're like, you did it once. And especially with Todrick being like, I don't know, I often feel like Todrick's not particularly helpful in the sense that like,
Oh, I totally agree.
yeah, you're shit. Yeah, this is harder than last year. Sort it out. But then in some ways, I guess that uncompromising thing is kind of what eventually gets to me. I guess he can't coddle them because it is for like an important challenge. But I do always feel like it's a bit like, okay, why are you so shit? How comes you've not like mastered this dance routine that I literally just showed you? Get out.
That's what I was saying last time we was on the show.
Yeah,
it's exactly that. But also, I do agree with Aquaria in that like the choreo was good. Like he's obviously good at what he does in terms of like the actual routines, but just not necessarily. He's not the like warmest teacher, I suppose.
I guess it's also there's probably a lot that we don't see. Like they're probably in there for like 4 or 5 hours or something. And then I think some of the like I remember reading or hearing before that for the cheerleader challenge in season 9, like obviously we only see them doing it for a really small time, but they had like a couple of days on that. So there was like whole days where they were just doing rehearsals and prep for this that they obviously didn't show. Yeah,
because that's something that confused me as well. On this note, something I wanted to bring up. Thanks for reminding me. But like he says, if I were you, Eureka, stay up all night.
Yeah.
Again, like, how does she know what a choreo is? If the issue is remembering it, unless you have a video of it or something to refer to, you can't just rely on what's in your head. Because, like, if you had it in your head, you wouldn't need to rehearse it in the first place. You know?
Right. Yeah, I do love that. Like, so what's that? You're missing. You keep on getting these steps wrong. Well, go home and go to your hotel room and do it wrong all night.
That's
so
what
when
I mean.
you come
Like,
back tomorrow,
they must get.
Yeah, there must be some kind of
something we don't see, right? Because I don't know how they like. It doesn't make any sense. And they always every single one of these challenges. So I'm getting very aggressive, but I stand by it. They always come up so much better. Like they always do shit in the rehearsal. You're like, fuck. There's no way in hell this queen's going to be able to pull it off on the day.
Right.
Even the queen who gets every single step wrong in the rehearsal, even at the end of the rehearsal, you can tell like it's not just editing. They're actually towards the end of the rehearsal, like the next day, the actual challenge, she would like kill it. And it's like what, like. What?
The only exception being BB, where like she had that.
What
like,
you say?
In All Stars 3, that whole thing with like everything was it had everyone being picked up, and then BB with the whole like.
That was iconic. Come on.
It was. But yeah. Anyway, but no, yeah, I think they obviously must have practiced a lot, and they did kill it. Like overall, I think I don't think anyone really messed up.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think everyone was really impressive generally. But in terms of rehearsal, any other notes?
Not particularly. I did think it must have really sucked to be anyone else apart from Aquaria, with the whole like Aquaria being like, boom, nailed it, sit down. Everyone else like, actually no, Asia was good. But I think also just like bless Aquaria's little heart with the just like suddenly crying at realizing she's in the top 4.
That's my only other note. Like again, like just her passion, and as I said, like she's just like a massive sweetheart. I just do loads of hearts. Like,
yeah,
she just really, like she's showing how much it means to her, how seriously she's taking it, like how grateful she is to be there. Like it's exactly what you want to see as a viewer. Like again, so many people's dreams and stuff, and she's showing that respect, and just got, I don't know, like it's like vulnerable and emotional, and like. It was just true to how she felt. I know I've got like nothing but really positive things to say, but I just really respect her.
Yeah, same.
For that moment,
No, absolutely, and I think it's really heartening to see, because obviously so many people go into the competition being like, "I'm a cold hard bitch. I want this. I want the money."
I'm here to fight.
You don't often, but you don't often see them actually kind of be like this mean. I mean, you see them talk about it, but you don't often see it necessarily in other parts of how they act. Of them being like, "This is actually so important to me that this is quite overwhelming."
Yeah,
you kind of just see them being like, "Oh my god, we're top 4, woo!" But it's actually
it's relatable as fuck, because like if you were in the top 4 of Drag Race, you'd be freaking the fuck out, or like really emotional, whatever it was. You wouldn't be like, like top 4, you'd be like, or like wow, or like whatever. Like it's just relatable. It's so relatable, But also, sorry, there's a conversation about Trisha Paytas going on in the chat, which I'm fully here for. I think part of the reason she got on Big Brother is because she is like a complete wreck, like past the wreck. And so she does make very good TV. I didn't watch that series though. I intended to, because I do like Trisha. I'm one of Trishy's fishies, you could say. Yeah, I know, right? But yeah, I think it's good TV. I saw little bits of it. But yeah, I don't have anything else to say about the rehearsals, really.
No, in many ways, like these kind of top 4 episodes are normally like there isn't too much meat normally to talk about, I find, because it's a lot of just like tying up ends, rehearsals, main performance, lip sync. It's a bit more standard. Like there isn't as much of that like push and pull that you get with other episodes, I think.
Totally. So, but that's all losing to my critique for the main challenge, really.
Yeah.
Again, like it's difficult. Again, I said for a few episodes this season, actually, but they all sort of performed on a level for me. I think they were all very, very good. Like no one was weak, no one was exceptionally strong for me.
Yeah.
Stronger, sorry.
Yeah, I mean, like, for some of them, you might think like, oh, they excelled a little bit more. Like, Aquaria's dancing was a little bit more on point or something, and then you might say like Cameron's singing was better. But nobody like had a clear victory. And in many ways, I'm glad that these top 4 episodes don't have a winner. Like, I'm glad that it's just like a kind of we might lose someone, but there's not necessarily a winner.
Well, that's the frustrating thing, though. I mean, I was going to talk about it later on, but like the illusion of potentially losing someone just isn't there anymore for me. Like I know no one's going home.
I think what's really strange for us as the audience is obviously this happened a little bit in Untucked, where they were like, oh my god, are they going to announce the winner tonight? Are they going to say that one person's going? Are they going to say that 2 people are going? Is everyone going to stay? And it's kind of funny because obviously they don't know because they've been locked inside, and they can, season 8 and season 9 both had different finales. So for them, they're like season 10, well, who knows, But obviously for us as the audience, we've already been told, okay, the reunion's happening here. There's going to be this lip sync thing. Here's your top 4. Like, start voting on who you want to win. So it's kind of funny because for us as an audience, we already know that the top 4 lip sync.
I didn't know there would be a top 4. Oh god, that's horrible. But I just assumed there would be a top 4 because it's just the format of the show. Recently, like.
Yeah, I mean, just because like it was filmed fairly recently, the top 4 like lip sync battle thing. So it's I mean, I've just kind of seen already just people being like, oh, okay, so who do you think is going to win in like a lip sync with these people? And it's kind of funny because I guess us on the outside, we have that advantage in that sense. But for me, yeah, that does take away some of the drama of that decision. Like with actually, it was that kind of funny thing with the reunion last time. Because they shot the reunion, if I'm right, the day after the finale, which is so funny because then they're like, so there's going to be a lip sync battle to the death, and it was like, oh my god, and you're like, literally, like Shay, you already know you've not won. At this point, Trinity and Shay absolutely know they've not won. So this is such a strange like.
But that's not the case this time, apparently, right? Apparently, the reunion was filmed before the finale this time around.
Oh, good. That makes a lot more sense.
It does, 100%. What was I going to say? But the frustrating thing is that as we're talking about it already, like I think, despite the fact, like I said, I warmed Cameron this episode. I think she performed very well this episode. I don't think many people would dispute the fact that she's easily the weakest out of the 4 people there, and she should have gone home. Like it doesn't deserve to be a top 4. Like again, I feel like if you're going to do this sort of thing where you're under the like guise that there's going to be a top 3, but only super rare occasions there's going to be top 4 because the 4th one's so outstanding they can't possibly send them home. Like, fine, use it for that. But like, Cameron obviously was significantly weaker. If obviously is significantly weaker than the other people there in terms of the competition.
Right.
So like, don't like do this, please.
Because I mean, I kind of felt a little bit. I mean, in some ways, it's kind of similar and a bit different with Peppermint last time. Like Peppermint had a similar track record at that point, and it did seem weird with the top 4 last time of being like, but then at the same time, Peppermint was such a legend outside the show in drag circles that it kind of made sense to have her in the top 4.
See, it didn't to me, but I think I had the exact same criticism for last season as well.
Oh, I mean, I did as well, but I mean, it made sense then given the numbers. But yeah, like giving the illusion that like, oh, are we going to get rid of someone when you're obviously going to have a format that then favors where you need 4 people? It seems a bit ridiculous to me.
I don't think you really need 4 people. I'm sure you could do the lip sync battles with 3 people.
And have like best of 2. Oh no, you'd have to.
I don't know. I suppose it would be tricky. It's got to be a way, right?
Unless they had a 3-way lip sync,
because
they need to do ones on Drag Race Thailand are amazing.
I agree. But like, but like the way we did it last season with the 4 of them, that wasn't fair either because, like, depending on who you matched against, the outcome could have been very different.
Yeah.
So having it the way we did it, the way they got it set up at the moment, isn't the fairest format anyway. So I'm sure there's, like I said, I think all 3 of them lip syncing together, there may be the weakest one going home and then top. I don't know, something like that. Yeah, would have worked.
I find it kind of a strange thing. It's not necessarily a format I like. I mean, as kind of boring as it is, I kind of prefer the whole like you just have one big evening, you announce a winner. That for me feels a bit fairer, weirdly. But then I get that they also need to make it some kind of spectacle for the finale. So I don't quite know how you do that and still maintain some kind of fairness, but also some kind of glitz and glamour to it.
Yeah,
You know?
I understand that. I totally agree with what Innes is saying. Like, it kind of throws everything they've done all season with a new format. So it's like, oh, you did a good job all season, but your lip sync tonight wasn't great, so you can't have the crown. Like, I agree, and I agree with what Kurt's saying as well. It'd be good if they take into consideration the statistics of the competition thus far, because that's how they do it normally for deliberation. Like, they'll obviously look heavily at the challenge of the episode and the performance in that episode, but also a lot of the time, and you can't deny it, they were taking their performance throughout the whole competition generally.
Right.
Like, obviously, the top queen falters one episode, she's not going to get sent home. Like, that's just not going to happen.
Right.
But it's weird they don't do that for the finale. It's purely done over lip syncs in that one occasion. When again, like a lot of queens, like Bianca Del Rio, like her forte is not lip syncing. Like, if they had that format for her, she probably wouldn't win.
Yeah, I mean, I still think she could kill it in a lip sync finale because she would have done something clever. But it was a bit strange, as people pointed out last time, that you had Shea with 4 wins, and although I mean Sasha did actually have a very good track record, it's just that there weren't as many wins, but actually she'd been in the top many times and had been very close to winning.
I don't think it's about like I don't think people are so pissed off necessarily about like Sasha winning over Shea. I think it's more that Shea was eliminated first.
Yes, that's exactly how I felt. I think. Yeah. For example, I would have loved to have seen. I think that was the difficulty because many people that you had Shea with 4 wins, Trinity with 3 wins, Sasha with 2 wins and a very good track record and no time in the bottom, and Peppermint with 1 win and like a couple of bottoms and not very good performances in a few other challenges. And then the fact that the final 2 was then Peppermint and
it's also anticlimactic because you knew what was quite difficult at that point straight away, so it's just it didn't really work in any level really.
And I think that's what's going to be interesting for this format. If, for example, the final 2 happen to be Cameron and I don't know, the rest are fairly even, but maybe Asia and Cameron. If those 2 were the final 2, I think that's when people would maybe have the biggest issue.
Yeah. So just in reference to the chat. He wants that chicken leg. I know it. That's a reference. That's a reference for y'all. So what was I going to say? So in terms of the lip syncing as well, for the finale, I've totally lost my train of thought. What were you just saying?
About the kind of like performance record and like the.
About it. Sorry. So Kurt was saying that he liked what they did for season 7 and 8, where they had their own songs written for them.
That's good. I like that.
I really liked that as a viewer. But I think that was also very unfair on the queens. I think maybe even more unfair than the current format, because it all depends on the quality of the song that's written for you and the style of song that's written for you and the choreography you're given and the setup and everything. Like, you just have no control really over that. True. So
season 8 was pretty great for that, I thought. Like, because Bob's one made a lot of sense for Bob. Legs for Naomi was pretty like great. And like Kim's Fat Feminine Asian was really good. So I think like that. Season 8 it works. Season 7 I was less sure because like it meant that Ginger got this really big like musical theater song with this kind of like religious kind of like slightly gospel part and then like Violet had a song that kind of matched her, and then Pearl kind of had quite a boring song, I thought.
I agree.
So I mean, plus I don't, what would they have done for Sasha? Would have just been like art.
It would just be flat,
or like it would just been like a 3-minute remix of her just being like, "Oh my god, I love that," and like
that'd be the best. I'd love that. Ironically, that's reference, by the way, guys. In case you don't know, you didn't tune in at the beginning, but when Sasha's doing the interviews pre-season with all the queens, her little special show thing, I literally like every 5 seconds she was like, "I love that." Like everything, when anyone would say anything, her response would always be, "I love that."
Yeah, like Aquaria would be like, "Oh, like I'm, really interested in fashion and I love New York," and she'd be like, "Yeah, I love that." Yeah,
exactly.
And then like Calorie would be like, "Yeah, my name is after comes from the Kardashians," and she'll, "Oh my god, I love that." You're Sasha, like find another phrase. I love you, but
she just loves it. She's just being sincere, and I respect that.
She loves so many things. I think that's just the problem that Sasha has.
A lot of love in her little heart.
Yeah.
So I was going to write down like what I thought of like the outfits and looks individually for the actual challenge, but to be honest, I really disliked all of the looks. But I understand
Really?
why they were done like that. They're obviously done because they're easy to dance in.
Oh, sorry
But
for those ones. Sorry, I
yeah,
thought you meant the
no, no, no,
final
no,
runner
no, no. I
one.
loved all of those. We'll get onto that in a second. I'm excited to talk about that. But the costumes for the actual performance, like
Yeah,
I disliked all of them
I
personally.
liked Aquarius, and I think that was the only one I liked.
I really didn't like it. He's like it gave me Sasha Velour. It's like a weird fabric, like a felty, like it's a bit like one of the Vixen's constructions mixed with Sasha Velour's like material choices.
But I like that it had the kind of conical bra
No,
thing
not here for that.
because it meant that like Aquaria got to do the little. I wonder if they knew what they were going to wear before the dance routine because like she must have had to do that as part of the dance.
Oh yeah, I
Knowing,
guess so because literally hasn't worn boobs at any point during the whole competition.
yeah, yeah, exactly. So that would have been a weird choice dance move voice, unless she just added it in on her own accord. But yeah, I mean, Aquarius is the only one I kind of liked, but the others I was a bit like, I mean, it's a dance thing. They're going to be wearing, yeah, whatever.
Yeah. Sorry, so I was catching up with the chat. So everyone's hating Eureka's outfit. Yeah, I think I just didn't like
Yeah,
any of
I
them.
have to admit, of the dancing bits, I really didn't like Aquarius, Eureka's. Sorry, like Asia's I kind of liked, but she was a little bit like a slightly she was kind of like a
I
parrot,
didn't. Yeah, it was very parroty, and not in a
which is
sexy
not
way.
always a bad thing. But yeah, I
Yeah.
don't think it necessarily works. But I mean, it's a dance thing, so you know.
Yeah. So sorry, like a bit of a tangent, but just as what guys are talking about in the chat. So Kurt's saying it's weird that in 2 weeks there's not going to be any more drag streams until next year's. That's not true. We need to work stuff out. So we definitely got Dracula in between.
Yeah.
100%. We'll do a stream every episode for Dracula, guys. You need to watch it. If you haven't seen season 2 of Dracula on YouTube, definitely watch it. It's really, really good. Better than season 9 easily.
I agree.
Yeah, Bob and I did some streams together, so watch our streams on that as well for the last few episodes. I think we should also, I know you've seen it already, Bob, but I think also it'd be cool to do streams on Drag Race Thailand if you guys want to watch along.
Yeah, it'd be really fun to rewatch it for me as well.
Cool.
And I think I mean, and if all else fails, we can just pretend like we can make up an episode in our heads.
Yeah.
We can be like, yeah, you know, that time when, yeah, you kind of almost like RuPaul Dark Reset and like come up with like random scenarios for these people.
That would be good. I think we're saying last stream as well. Like it'd be fun if we can do like little spin-offs, like if we try to do some of the mini challenges, like designing pancakes or something like that. That could
I'm
be
so
really
up
fun.
for doing that pancake challenge with you.
Yeah, that'd be so good. We should definitely do that. We do it on stream as well, potentially. If you know, we could work out a way to make them work. But basically, like I say, this is like on a more serious note. So this channel has stayed around like 910 subscribers for months now, like probably a good couple of months. Like it was climbing slowly until that point. But new people keep subscribing every day, and people keep leaving as well. So like, I don't know what to do. Like I keep trying other content. I've tried like vlogs. I've tried gaming stuff. I tried that Sabrina series, which like I actually put effort into, but like no one really seems to be into anything apart from these drag race streams, which I'm happy to carry on doing. But like I'm definitely happy to branch into other areas as well. But just tell me what you guys want to watch, because the things I'm trying don't really seem to be working. Because I really do enjoy doing this and like hanging out with you guys and like making content and all that sort of stuff. So it'd be really cool with my friends as well, obviously. But it'd be really cool to be able to carry on doing that outside of Drag Race, especially when there's not any Drag Race on TV. So if you could let me know what you want to see. Bob, you're ruining my heartfelt speech. This is like my final top 4 speech. I'm looking at a photo of myself as a kid over there. I'm almost crying, and then you're snotting up the other side.
This is the thing. So like just before the stream, I was like, oh, I have a headache. I should take these things. And basically like took these like cold and sinus things. And now as a result, I'm like just like constantly snotty. So apologies.
Bob, the issue is Floppy Pop's just getting emotional by the fact that you guys aren't recording us anymore.
Because this is the only thing that brings meaning to my life. So
same.
Yeah, so not having kind of reach out through the screen. I might be in London soon. Then we can hang out in person and then cry at our lack of streaming.
Oh yeah, I'm obviously keen for that. But like it was, I'm saying, but like we need something. It'd be cool to be able to do some stuff for YouTube together.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it would be because I think that's the thing because RuPaul's Drag Race opens so many discussions, and it would be good to as well to keep some of this going, especially with whatever the lovely viewers at home. Like any thoughts you have on kind of what could come next as well, because I think a lot of these things are quite important discussions, and we don't necessarily get to delve into them in too much detail. I mean, we do talk for ages, but we don't necessarily go into too much detail because there's an episode to look at as well.
Yeah. And like I've done a few things. Like I did a video on like my gender, like my views on my own gender identity and gender identity generally. And like I listen to a lot of like political stuff on YouTube, and I'd definitely be cool to talk about some of this stuff in more detail. But again, like I don't know whether anyone would be interested in watching it. So guys, like I'm happy for you to let us know in the chat now, like what you'd like us to do. But also, what would be more handy is if you leave comments below with the sort of content you'd like me and my friends to make, and we'll see what we can do, sort of thing. And thank you, Kurt, saying that like because it's a smaller channel, it's hard to find, I guess. And he's been super supportive ever since, which we really appreciate. So sorry for reading other comments. So yeah, I don't really know what to do. Like again, like it'd be awesome. I'm happy to put more time into the whole YouTube thing. I'm happy to do whatever really, but obviously it needs to like be working and not losing subscribers. So I'm happy to like it would be awesome if you guys could help guide me in that sort of stuff. So yeah, cheers. Sorry, that was a massive tangent. So I'm happy to move on to the final outfits, or is there anything you want to say about the actual challenge?
No, that's where I'm at as well. Yeah.
Cool. I've got a lamp, but it's all the way over there. The lamp cable is very short, so someone's saying I should buy a lamp for the room. On that note, Bob, I showed you, didn't I? Sorry, this is another slight tangent, but the lamp shade that came with this lamp, I'll take a picture of it and put it on Instagram maybe so you guys can see. The lamp shade that came with it I'm really not happy with. But then I saw on Etsy this really cool like bird cage lampshade. It's got like actual like fake birds in it. It's like super tacky, I think, but I also love it. I'm not sure whether to get it or not. But if I do, I'll do a fashion shoot with that.
I think you should get one that just projects Panquisha onto the wall.
That would be beautiful. Actually, I'm going to show you guys it because like I think it's really, really cool, but I also am scared that it's really tacky and horrible. So you guys can let me know whether you think I should get it or not. People say it sounds horrendous, which I don't disagree with. I think it is horrendous, but that's sort of why I love it. I might as well just show you guys now, as I've already found it. It's going to be a full screen picture. Yeah. It's a bit blurry, but that's the sort of vibe. Like just a lampshade, not the actual like. So not the actual lamp itself. My actual lamp. I'll show you my actual lamp as well. Sneak preview. I was
getting a full-on tour here.
You really are. Oh, sorry. I've just got back and followed it. I've done loads of shit. Oh, I can't do this in reverse. That's my lamp. I don't wear wigs. So, yeah. Sorry, I've got loads of shit on the floor because I just got back from... from Mallorca the other day. This has gone very, very long.
Like, oh, no, just accidentally like focused in on my crotch. Oh, no.
Oh, whoops.
Classic Grant.
You're welcome. So, yeah, if you guys... More importantly than the future of the channel, if you guys think I should get a lampshade, let me know. I'll do a poll.
It's kind of like crowdsourcing your like interior decorating. It's kind of great.
100%. Oh, Ines is saying that would definitely make you lose subscribers. That's harsh. Kurt is saying it might look cool when the light is on. That's what I'm thinking, right? It's like birds will be projected on the wall. Also, I realize the lampshade's really wonky at the moment, so that probably came out and thing. Because it's saying it's so kitschy. Yeah, it is. It doesn't really. The rest of my flat is like super geeky, like just filled to the brim with gamer shit, which I love. But it doesn't really match anything. It'd really be weird. But yeah. I just really like it. I can't stop thinking about it. I think I'd probably have some sort of sexual relationship with the lampshade, and I feel like I shouldn't be judged for that.
Yeah, you should live your life how you.
Thank you. Sorry. Okay, back to the show. So that's a literal half an hour tangent.
Yeah. So the runway. Yes. I really enjoyed these. I have some thoughts.
So I don't want to hear them. I'm sorry. No, sorry. Let's do Queen by Queen. So let's start with Aquaria.
Okay, I really liked it. I thought bits of it, like I was expecting something a little bit different from her. I still think it was a very good and very polished look. It's not my favorite of hers throughout the season, but it's good. Yeah, very good.
Oh, see, I absolutely loved it. Like I've written down 100 positive adjectives. Like it was just, I was fully in love with it. I wrote down fuck my life, everything. It was just, for me, it was giving me it had a really witchy element to it. It was like
Yeah.
beautiful. I had like a 90s element. It was like a weird like dress Britney Spears would have worn like back in the 90s with like the crosses and like
Yeah.
it's really bizarre. But like high fashion and like gorgeous and then like witchy and bizarre and like the hanging like mirrors from her
That
eyes,
was
like the mirror
really
stars.
cool.
Like, oh my god, like basically
Yeah.
it reminded me, it's again, sorry, it's like very quick tangent this time. There's a place I used to go as a kid the whole time, not like regularly, and a lot of people from my primary school used to go there.
Was it a drag show?
Sorry?
Was it a drag show? Is this what you?
No, not a drag show. Groombridge Place, which I think, like I've told you about 100 times, I need to take you there.
Oh yeah.
But it's like a big forest, like loads of random crap in it, and like one of the things is like a witch's pool. Witch's pool. It's just like this like cool little pond, like full of like mirrors and shit. And it's like, oh, as a kid, like it was like really magical and amazing.
Was this where you realized you were gay?
That's just like looking, yeah, exactly. Just feeling my oats in that pool. But yeah, like it was just like Aquarius just gave me that sort of vibe, like some sort of like witch pool, beautiful like witch's pool creature. Like I don't
totally
know.
see that. I thought it was kind of like Christina Aguilera's like dirty period.
Yeah.
Added with like something witchy and like that eye stuff was gorgeous. I think had she not had the face thing, I would have been a bit like pretty, but something's missing. But that was very Aquaria to have that face thing.
Yeah, I just loved it. Sorry, Sukin's back.
Hey, hello.
We were just trying to. I literally started a campaign earlier for people to track you down and force you to join the streams again. We've all missed you, so thanks for joining us. You guys are going too fast as well. Do it queen by queen. Stop jumping ahead. I can't handle it. Although most people are toots for all generally, apart from Cos's booting Eureka. We'll talk about this in a second, I guess. But it was also shooting Cameron. And what was I going to say? And then people have mixed views on Aquarius. Look, but anyway, personally, it's all down. Like all our views generally, it's all like personal aesthetic and what resonates with you and that sort of shit. But for me, I personally absolutely loved Aquarius' look. So Asia.
What was Asia's again? Hang on. Oh yeah, the kind of I thought there was a beautiful outline. I loved the colors of it. I wasn't necessarily sure how I felt about the little chin thing.
I love that little chin thing.
But I grew to like it. That's the thing. I think when I first saw it, I was like, okay, because it kind of for me like took my attention away from some of the other gorgeous things that were happening. But I came to like it.
Like I think why it worked for me is what you said about the dress. Like the whole thing was just very structured. So I think that's why that worked well for me.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's why I think why I eventually came to like it. And I think also it added a bit of extra character that she was clearly showing in some ways that it's not always just like something safe. Like it was beautiful and very well done, I think.
Yeah, and obviously Fort Grunter, because it was like the same color as the dress, or like parts of it. But it had like the green, like the other color of the dress, the seafoamy sort of color, like stuck on the bottom of the jewel. So no, it just looked really cool to me. But the only thing I say is I loved it instantly. But then the more time I spent looking at it, it did seem kind of janky. The dress, like it could have been constructed a little bit slicker, I thought.
Yeah, I think there were parts. I think there were definitely parts where I was like not fully sure how I feel about the shape, but overall I thought it was really beautiful. And like, I mean, Asia's been a really fun one for me throughout the season, just because she's always a little bit unexpected for me. Like even the things that are more kind of typical, she still adds something a little fun to it. So she's a good one. I like Asia a lot.
Yeah, I'm always excited to see what she's going to bring. And I was saying, so like for me, it's sort of like I agree with what you're saying to an extent, but I like the whole concept a lot, like the structure, the colors, like representing her boy C.U.N.T Soldier. Always appreciate it. But it's more just like
the love out.
yeah, it's just like more like the actual construction itself. Like it looked a little bit janky. I know, maybe it's just me, but I liked it generally a lot. Cameron's.
I loved this. I thought it was so simple in many ways, but really classically so. Like the color combination was beautiful. I mean, I say color combination, it's like two different shades of like lavender, but actually I thought they were really like, having that beautiful kind of pastel one on her, and then the kind of slightly bolder one for her wig. I just thought it was gorgeous. Absolutely stunning.
Yeah, no, I agree. She was gorgeous, but like it was literally just Violet Chachki's look. Her entrance look. I think it was her finale look, or both. Like it was just like exactly the same as I think her entrance look.
Yeah, I didn't think it was necessarily that creative, but it was very beautiful.
Yeah, I agree. That's how I feel. But I also feel like it was better. I was saying it's like it was exactly the same as Violet's look, which it was, but it was, I think it's executed better. I think she looked prettier than Violet, I think, which I never thought I'd say. So Violet's known for executing flawless looks, you know, so I was super impressed. But sorry, just to catch up with the chat. So Ian's is saying that Eureka's outfit for the music video was the same one she wore for the final musical challenge, which is interesting. That's a good bit of tea.
Okay.
Suikin saying Aquaria rocks. This is for the challenge. It's not challenge for the main stage. Aquaria rocks her look. Asia was very regal, but those hips were too crafty. Yeah, that's what I was sort of saying. I had like a bit of a crafty edge for me personally. Because it's saying Cameron's was meh, whereas Kurt's saying Cameron's was fucking amazing. Suikin saying Cameron looks nice, but after stalking Miss Cracker's top 4 spot, I expected a lot more. Okay, if anyone can forward me a picture of her Cracker's top 4 look, I'll hold it up to the thing, and I'm interested to see. Is it saying gave me kimchi walking to working for the first time? Yeah, true. I think I can't remember when Violet did a look. Violet did like an all pastel violet look. It was like the same wig, like the same. I can picture it really clearly, but I can't remember when she did it. Cool. And so finally we've got Eureka. Oh, sorry, that's one thing. Another note I had about Cameron's is it's a very soft look. And I was sort of thinking, like, I mean, Cameron always does soft looks, really. And I think it worked really well this time. But I think she should play, instead of trying to mask her strengths, like her, I'm not talking about being a muscle queen, I'm talking about like her quite prominent face structure, for example. I would work with it. I would try, like, for example, I think Acid Betty does this well. Acid Betty, to me, has got a very, like, masculine face structure. Right. Then she always has, like, harsh makeup that sort of, like, has quite intense looks, but really, like, works well with her face structure. Whereas Cameron, I feel like her looks tried their best to, like, mask that. And, like, I don't think that's what you mean. But my problem issue with that is she's never going to be as pretty as an Aquaria, like, because she doesn't have the face structure for it. So instead of trying to be like a subpar version of like what other queens are trying to do with makeup, like a fishy femme queen or whatever, like I would, it's again, like, if you are that sort of way, if you're that way inclined in terms of lean towards more like feminine girly things, fine. But I still think you can paint it in a way it's not trying to like mask what you are, but still like place your strengths more.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
All I had in my mind was that the whole like Shangela, like, you're not that kind of girl.
Exactly, right?
Anyway. But yeah, like, I think I really like the way Cameron, at least especially this one in this look, did her face, because I think sometimes she kind of paints it in this quite sleek way, but something's just a little bit off. Like, it's normally the hairline for me, actually. Like, normally her wigs seem like that they really read as wigs, which I know is stupid because
that's what I mean. That's sort of what I'm saying as well, I guess, because like her whole shtick was like, oh, I'm like the anime gamer fantasy queen. So like, and then she does do that sort of thing sometimes. Like, you can tell with the hair and stuff she chooses, like you said, like it's not very natural, and like, but then she doesn't like follow it through with the rest of everything. Like, so, like then the makeup's too soft. It doesn't really look too gamery or too.
Yeah. I would really love to see her go like full Bayonetta or something.
Oh, hell yeah. Like, do you remember again, like from the Sasha, I think it was a Sasha interview, she had that really cool hair with like the pins in it and like the like full on like fantasy sort of look, gaming sort of look.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, Kurt saying purple was Cameron's colour.
It did really suit her, I think. It was such a gorgeous colour.
It was really nice, but again, for me, like I say, if you guys have watched my content, like other seasons of probably this season as well, for me, like the thing that most turns me on sexually, no, not sexually, no, is like bringing something that hasn't been seen to the table.
Yeah.
So like again, like I think Cameron looked very nice, but it didn't
Yeah, it wasn't necessarily particularly original or creative. It was like
But for me personally, it's the main thing I look for. Like, I don't care how fishy someone looks or anything like that. For me, it's like how creative and different is the look.
Yeah.
Like, have I seen this before, and is it doing anything for me? You know.
Yeah.
But this is a good segue because Eureka, I really, really liked Eureka's look for that exact reason. Like, it wasn't like my favorite look ever in terms of it, like its components and the shapes and things like that, but just the whole concept generally, and like the cleanness of it, like the cleanness of the concept and how much the concept was like highlighted.
Yeah.
Like, I loved it.
See, I was a bit torn with it because on one hand, I really liked that it was really different and outside of the box. And I thought actually for Eureka, that was a really clever move because, you know, it's kind of something quite different from Eureka. We've not seen her play up comedy in quite the same way. Because, you know, she had the little light bulb, she had the little light bulb earrings. I kind of agree with what they said a bit on Fashion Photo Review, which is this would have been a really good entrance look, I think.
You don't think it's good? I haven't seen fashion photo review yet, so
they just said that they think this sort of works better as an entrance look because it's a bit more about like, here's who I am, here's my name.
But then, like, for me, it worked well in terms of
I did think
being
it
the
was fun.
final look because it's like the pinnacle is like you're celebrating. I think she said all this sort of stuff. You're like you're celebrating yourself. It's like I am Eureka. Like this is the definition of me. You know, like all that sort of shit. So I was here for it personally. Like it was like a realization moment for me.
I'm kind of surprised she didn't do like a hair loaf that was a light bulb.
Oh, that would have been awesome. That would have been really cool.
Because like that's very much her.
Like,
and
but I suppose the difference is like the look was still like campy or whatever, but it was still like beautiful and like elegant at the same time. Whereas an actual light bulb loaf would probably like straight into like
you can see already like how long I would last on like Drag Race because my first one I'd be like, but don't you get it? Like I'm obviously wearing a butt plug on my head, like
exactly,
and then like,
onk, yeah.
So that wouldn't have worked, but I actually quite liked it. I thought it was a bit more outside the box. I came to like it a lot more than I thought I would.
People were saying the fit was bad. Cousin Suikin, the idea was great, but she had no excuse to fit. The whole proportionalizing thing, light bulb for season 12, light bulb for season 12. What was I going to say? So my only issue, like when I was watching her paint for this final look, I'm like, I've seen her do this makeup 400 times before already, and like she did change it, like the eyelashes are really cool, and she added stuff to make it different. But like the base with the eyes, like that purple and the way she blended it was like what she's done a lot already on this season. And also, I don't understand. It's something that she does very like I don't like it with her like in her confessionals and her boy brows she paints on. But the thing that didn't really make sense to me is her eyebrows were really light for this final look when she had this really like pure black hair and these black sideburns. Then her eyebrows were like a light brown, and that really threw it off for me. So personally, like I wasn't fully here for the makeup, but apart from that, like I really liked it.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, that's.
Thanks. People were saying it's tasteless. And Ina's saying the bottom lashes ruined it. Again, I think, like I was saying, like I like stuff I haven't seen before, and that whole like the way that worked, like I really liked it. And I definitely want to swap Eureka. I'm happy to swap Eureka for Vanjie. Let's swap Cameron for Vanjie, yo.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that's actually all my notes. So yeah, anything else to say about the looks?
I don't really think so. I think overall it was just strong. That's like I feel like top 4 episodes kind of normally go like this, and you're just like, okay, they're all good. These are strong. This is a strong showing from all of them. Like, and then I have to admit, I loved their little like, oh my god, we're all in the top 4, because I mean obviously for them it is a surprise, but for us we're like, we know this, but it is kind of fun to watch. Like they're kind of I
was like pissed off at that point the most. Again, because like I said, I didn't know for the episodes. I avoid social media, like drag related stuff, because I don't want to be spoiled. Apart from like after the episode, I watched like all the stuff relating to the episode. I listened to podcasts like the full shablam. But like I didn't know it'd be a top 4 based on like I didn't know for sure it'd be top 4, but I just knew it would be based on like what's happened previous seasons.
Right.
The way it was going. So yeah, it was just anticlimactic for me, and especially now I don't feel the decision is justified. I feel like again, if it all been outstanding, fine. Like I would have been emotionally here for it, but because like it just didn't seem right to me as well, I wasn't here for that.
I think I would have found it quite weird personally to see someone leave this episode, like because it wouldn't have felt particularly justified in the sense that like based on this episode they all did well, like. Unless they were to do it on like track record and be like, okay, we need to now think based on.
That's something they've always taken that into consideration, but they don't for this last episode. It just seems odd to me.
Yeah. I feel like they would have had to have done a bit of preamble before it. Like they would have had to have said something like, okay, taking people into the top 3 is really tough.
But they did though, because
we need to think about blah blah blah. Yeah.
But they did. They talked about their performance throughout the whole season, because I think even Michelle said about Cameron, like she's faltered a lot. Sort of thing, and they showed like clips of her failing at life. So like they did. I think they were setting up to be
the split 3 times.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. So I thought they were setting up to send her home in a way. And I was like, cool. In terms of Vanjie, he's saying, "Do you want to see these cookies? again. I mean, you better do that for her entrance. That'd be good. And Smarty's back. Hey guys, it's like the whole family's here. That's awesome. Although we've got to the end of the stream, so if there was a bottom two, who would you pick? I'd say Asia and Eureka. That's Sutakin. Oh, and Kurt's agreeing. Interesting. Who would you pick for your bottom two?
Maybe Eureka and Cameron.
Okay, yeah, definitely Cameron for me. And
it couldn't be Aquaria.
It's Asia based on this episode solely, and of course not. Based on this episode solely, I would say Asia, because her look for me wasn't as polished as Eureka's look. I know it's difficult. I think apart from Cameron, for me, okay, so Cameron's easily the bottom for me. Aquarius easily the top for me, and the other two are on the even.
That's kind of how I feel.
Playing field for me. I need to listen to the song, the performance again. But the actual lip sync itself, I always find these ones quite boring because they're always in gowns. They can't really do anything.
Yeah, I did think this. I thought it was a bit weird having "Call Me Mother" for this one. I think because it is quite an active song with like quite a lot of like intense lyrics, and as you said, they're all wearing gowns, and so like they can't really move. So there's a lot of like pointing around stage and kind of armography kind of going on.
Armography, yeah.
Which was kind of fun to watch in some ways, but then like I don't know, having 4 people on stage all kind of in gowns trying to do the whole like "Titty So Plentiful" line, it kind of almost doesn't work. I don't know why.
Yeah, that's how I feel as well.
Like at this point, you kind of wish Aja was there. Like, every week, personally. But kind of just wish Aja was there to like really like nail these lyrics.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think maybe that's why I chose that, because it was about like, I think the main like appeal of it is lip syncing and knowing all the words. And so like you can still obviously like you have to be focusing on your face if you can't really move much. True. So I think maybe that was why they did it.
Yeah. And obviously
who's mayhem? That's harsh, yo. Harsh.
What was that?
Cause it's saying ooh, who's mayhem? Harsh.
Oh bless.
Any other notes about a lip sync?
Not particularly. I mean, it was like, I guess as well because I already knew that there was going to be a top 4. Like, it took any drama out of the lip sync for me.
Yeah,
I was like, it's just kind of fun to watch them dance a bit. And like, none of them are really trying to outdo each other. So a lot of the time, they're just kind of standing next to each other, kind of.
Yeah.
It's all good.
We should do a top 4 lip sync, but just 3 of us. Like Dan, we've got 4 of us. We can do top 4 lip sync.
Yeah.
We didn't want to go to the concert.
Oh my god. Good as hell.
Yeah, that'd be so good. We'll do our own version. The redemption. What was I going to say? Okay, so are we ready to whip out our C.U.N.Ts, everyone?
Always.
Great. Charisma. Okay, I'm gonna go first. It's super easy for me. Like Aquaria, through and through. Like she's the biggest sweetheart. Like I'm fully in love with her. Like she can do no wrong in my eyes now.
Yeah. That's the thing. I'm kind of trying to work out because I might want to give her one of the ones later. But I'd have to say Charisma. I fell in love with her even more this episode, and I found her such a delight to listen to. She's such a sweetheart, and the little bonjour thing is really cute.
Yeah, I agree. Now you pointed it out. Now we've talked about it. I agree. Cause it's interesting. Both Cos and Kurt are giving their and Inez are all giving their charisma to Cameron. I guess because she finally.
That was my second place because I was like, I wasn't quite sure. I was like, if I want to give that to Aquaria later, like something else to Aquaria, like it would be Cameron if not.
I'm aggressive about this though because I don't feel like Cameron is as charismatic as Aquaria. I think she has an unfair advantage in the category because she's given us nothing and then she gave us something and she seems charismatic because of that.
The sort of most improved category, yeah.
Yeah. Whereas Aquaria's been open and been like super sweetheart like this episode, so like you guys are just wrong. That's my fault. I'll stand by it. Oh my god, Suikin is saying see Cameron if he's doing it properly. So I'm guessing he wants to save something else for Aquaria.
Yeah, that's kind of how I'm feeling. I was tempted to give the T to Aquaria for all the dance. But anyway, yeah. So you for uniqueness, I'd probably have to say Eureka based on that outfit, I guess.
Yeah, I see that completely. But then also Asia for the Chinjal. Like
actually no, I'm gonna switch to that one. Yeah.
I'm just trying to think in terms of the rest of the episode and the rest of the challenge. Like they were all pretty on a level and no one was particularly unique or anything like that. So no, I'm gonna give my uniqueness to Eureka for that last outfit. Because I'm going to give my nerve to Asia for still going in and cracker at the beginning of the episode.
See, that's what I was trying to work out. I'm going to give nerve to Eureka based on the fact that like she had to do the dance and as a result had to talk about her knee.
Oh God,
she
actually talked about knee, didn't she? For
my
once?
nerve is for Eureka's knee.
Did she talk about the knee this episode? I didn't notice.
I think only briefly.
Okay.
I think.
So the chat are giving Kurt's giving you to Eureka, Cos is giving it to Aquaria, Ines is giving you to Asia for the sponge dress, leotard, and chin gem. Ooh, okay. Kurt's giving nerve to Asia. Sukin's giving you uniqueness to Cameron. Excuse not to sit with the girls. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's a good shout. And he's giving nerve to RuPaul for not cutting one of the girls. Oh, that's a better shout. I wish I'd gone with that.
That's a good
one. So talent then.
Talent then. Who have I got left? Is Cameron for that dance routine, because I think actually Cameron did have really quite complicated choreography in parts and sang quite well. So yeah,
I was gonna say for me, for her singing, like I was really impressed with her singing. So yeah,
and for her obvious knowledge of an octave, which
yeah, exactly. I know. Better than Aquaria, though. Still, to be fair.
Yeah, true.
Cos is giving nerve to Eureka. Sukin's giving T to Aquaria. Good smart choice. Ines is giving nerve to Eureka. Cos is giving T to Aquaria, hands down. Yeah, fair.
Yeah.
But again, like in terms of the actual, they all in terms of the challenge itself, nothing else this episode. They are all super talented. I don't think Aquaria was miles ahead. You all know I'm a massive Aquaria stan, but Aquaria wasn't miles ahead in terms of a challenge. But I think overall, the whole season and the look and stuff like that, I agree. Ines is giving T to Aquaria for surprising this episode. And those tears were beautiful. Yes, they were.
They were.
Yeah, I think that's it then, right? We've done everything we normally do.
I believe so.
Cool, right. Well done, everyone. That was another pro stream. So, what's going on next week? As I didn't, I actually had to leave at the very end. Is it a reunion?
Yep, and then the lip sync battle the week after.
Awesome. So next episode is going to be great. It's going to be a great one to like chat about. So guys, make sure you get involved in the reunion chat next episode. I'm guessing a weekend day is probably easier for everyone, as you want to get more people joining the chat on weekend evenings. So I guess we'll do that next week. Although I want to do, because I can't like avoid social media over the weekend, I'm definitely going to find out who wins. So I should be able to do. I've got my brother's graduation on on the day of the finale, but I'll be able to stream in the evening. And Cystitis is in. Are you around, Bob?
Yeah, that should all be good for me.
So, guys, so just so you know ahead of time, the finale we'll do Friday evening, and we'll probably do stuff for it. I need to sort stuff out. I'm really bad at organising things. So if I can get a few people around, it might be like a big stream of loads of people. We might like drag ourselves up or something. I don't know. We'll do, if I can be bothered, we'll do something. But next week we'll try and do the reunion discussion some point over the weekend, I guess. If anyone's got any particular time that's good for them, tweet me or Instagram me or something like that. I'll use Instagram more. I should remember something else I need to do. I thought this was a good idea. I was proud of myself. I got Cystitis because she couldn't make it this evening to send me a voice note with her thoughts from the episode.
Have you listened to this already, or is it
no? I'm not
verbally abusing you?
I gave my word. I'm going to listen to it before the stream. So we're all going to listen to Cystitis' thoughts now. So I'm going to awkwardly hold this to the mic for about a minute. So and react. I do like a little play based on what's being said. I won't. Oh.
All right. Here are my views
Can you hear it?
Last week's episode, or this week's episode.
Can you guys hear it?
Of Drag Race, if you're listening out there, people. We started with 4, we ended with 4, and it's very exciting stuff.
Yeah,
very gripping television. Yeah. Nothing happened. Fuck's sake. Choreography was nice. Everyone looked good, and I think Eureka's gonna win. So my bets. Either Eureka or Aquaria, but if I were to bet to get some good money, I'll bet Eureka because
you're wrong.
Yeah, the odds are pretty good, I think. Yeah. Anyways, miss you guys. Bye.
Okay. I think she was wrong, and that wasn't worth listening to, because like it's a fat vote, and everyone hates Eureka, so there's no way in hell she's going to win. To start, you just wasted a minute. You ruined this whole damn stream, and you weren't even here.
Yeah, I do think it is Aquarius now. Like I would, 100%. I mean, I think Eureka could still like put up a good fight, but I think I feel like if it's not one of those two, there might be a bit of a riot.
Yeah, I agree. Ines is unsubscribing for the lampshade. I haven't got a lampshade yet. I've still got normal lampshade. You can subscribe for another few more weeks. Sunday would be ideal for cause cool. drag up your flat. Yes, yeah. Suikin. This week we found out. Oh, it's in the summary. This week we found out Grant has a sexual relationship with his lampshade. Not yet a future sexual relationship.
I mean, I already knew that. Just
he did, yeah.
I caught him accidentally. It was a bit awkward, really.
It wasn't an accident. It was all set up, Bob, purposely.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, I enjoyed it, so
yeah, exactly. Trying to get validation for my alternative lifestyle. Yeah. And Floppy Bob no longer hates Eureka. That's true. That's a good summary.
It's been a slow and long process over 2 years, but I've now grown to the point where I'm okay with her.
Yeah, I'm sure.
If she won, I wouldn't be particularly happy, but I also wouldn't be particularly unhappy. So,
but also, that was her main reason for going back for season 10, right? Was to get your approval.
Yeah, that's exactly it. I mean, she kept on sending me all these cakes and signed photos, just like begging me to like her again. And I was like, oh, Eureka's not quite, like that. And then now I do. And,
yeah, we finally got there.
I don't really hate it. I still would rather Asia win than so for me it'd be like Aquaria, Asia, Eureka, Cameron. In terms
I'm exactly the same order as you. That's cool. We're on the same page. Yeah. If you guys don't think Aquaria is going to win, let me know, because that's controversial and I need to block you from my channel.
Then I also wonder if it's one of those things where like Aquaria seems so much the likely winner that they might throw a spanner in the works with that,
No, I doubt it. I really think so. Again, it's done on fan vote as well, and everyone's gagging for Aquaria, so she'll be fine.
And I can't imagine her like. I can imagine her definitely being in the final two in terms of lip sync stuff. Like I can't imagine her necessarily losing to Cameron or to Eureka or Asia.
But they will film. It's not as simple as that, because they will film whoever gets to the final two. They'll film both of them winning, and then they will play. Sorry.
No, I mean, as in, I feel like she wouldn't lose the first round. Like I feel like she'd definitely be in the final.
But that's what I mean. But like, even if she's like, there's no way she's not going to win a second round either, unless she does like horrifically bad. That's like true. I said, it's still done on fan. It's done mostly on fan votes. So they film both of them winning, and then whoever has the most fan votes is who they
take the shit on stage and like.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean.
Rolls around in it.
Well, a few
minutes. Yeah,
if that was the case. Okay, right. Oh, that's a segment we haven't done. Do you have anything you want to plug? Like anything over the last week you want to share with the children?
Not particularly.
Secrets.
I'm kind of just in dissertation mode, which is kind of fun, which is a really great way of saying like sitting around drinking tea and reading a lot. But what's kind of fun is a lot of mine is on kind of queer language use. So at some point I might actually bug people to like take part in a survey. But also, yeah, like actually RuPaul's Drag Race in some ways informs part of what I'm writing about, because it's about kind of queer slang and kind of where it's come from and how it continues to move and who uses it now. So the fact that, for example, some phrases that we use in the queer community, particularly in things like Drag Race, have either been taken directly from Black American women, or have kind of come from Black American queer culture. And so it's kind of quite interesting that a lot of these have become mainstream and are used kind of by often like white heterosexual audiences. Like if think about things like slay, fierce, it's like snatch your weave or snatch your wig, stuff like that, which has become kind of so common in some forms, but is not necessarily a straight white person thing. So
yeah, I think it could be interesting to do a discussion on the channel about that. If you guys are interested, let us know.
I'll do a dramatic reading of my dissertation once it's done. Just for like half an hour. I'd be like, then
yeah, exactly.
Nobody needs that in their lives.
As long as there's like movements associated with it, then I'm happy to watch. I don't really have anything to plug either, because I've just been I went away last week and I was just working the whole time pretty much. I'm going to plug working in a different environment. I'm going to plug my Instagram as well.
Are you going to plug your lamp?
I'm going to plug my lampshade. I feel like it should be like it should get a #1 trending hashtag based around that lampshade dilemma.
Yeah.
I'm gonna plug my Instagram because I just visited my parents' place for Father's Day and had a little sing song. I might put a clip of something that I sung on Instagram. So if you guys want to see that, check that out. It'll be magical.
Please tell me it's like Rage Against the Machine or something kind of like slightly out of type.
Actually, I really like singing Fall Out Boy, but it kills my voice. No, it's like a really depressing, like acoustic-y song. You know how I roll.
Yeah.
My main aim was singing was to ruin everyone's day who heard me. Yeah.
I was once in like I remember like being in a pub at university, and we like someone from our friendship group put Everybody Hurts by REM on, like I think they played it 4 times on the jukebox in a row.
Yeah.
Like pretty much just as it kind of kicked in, we left the bar. So whoever was left in there had literally like
that's really funny.
12 to 16 minutes of Everybody Hurts by REM.
Oh no. It also feels like a cry for help at the same time.
Yeah, true. It's meant to be uplifting as a song, but it really isn't that much.
Yeah, true. So yeah, guys, let us know if you have any other thoughts in the comments below. If you only caught the stream like towards the end or halfway through, then go back and watch the beginning. Let us know how you feel about the rest of the episode and our thoughts and stuff like that in the comments down below. Most importantly, though, the main thing I need from you all, you guys need to do your homework, put some work into this damn channel, is let us know what other videos to do. Because like I said, I want to grow the channel. I want to like do more content, but I've got no idea what anyone who subscribed wants to see. I keep trying to guess, but it's not really worked. So yeah, if you let me know, then that'd be lush. Go saying I should make my own version of Clat. Okay, that's something I'll definitely consider.
Yes. Well, should we do Clat with the 4 of us?
Oh, that would be so funny. Okay, we should do it. Like our own verses.
Yeah, I would be terrible.
There'll be 2 verses on Croydon as well.
Yeah, oh my god, I'm gonna do a Sasha Velour Croydon rap where I talk about like art.
God. Yeah. Okay. Great.
Croydon is a construct. Tear it apart.
Exactly. It really is. Right. Okay. Sorry, guys. We've taken up too much of your time. Thanks for joining us. Love you all. Like genuinely, do really enjoy hanging out with you guys and everything. So thank you very much. I hope you're having a nice week. We see you all for the reunion next week and the finale after that, and then something else after that. Yeah, so take care in the meantime, please. Bye. Love you.
Bye.
There you go. Oh.